Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Sakshi from Vinculum, and we are excited to have you here for our first webinar series on Startup Pack to Sell Online. Before we begin, I would like to share some information. All slides and recording of the session will be made available to all the webinar registrants, and we are live on Facebook as well. And during the course of the webinar, you can participate in few poll questions, which we would like you to respond to get your feedback on subject. So let's move on to the topic of discussion today and introduce you to our speaker, Mr. Sachin Jain, who is a product manager at Vinculum, and Mr. Sumit Karanji, who is product sales head at Vinculum. So Sachin and Sumit will walk you through the starter pack to sell online. Over to you, Sachin.
Thank you, Sakshi. And thank you everyone for tuning in. Like Sakshi said, we'll be taking you through this webinar to help you to basically sell online. It's kind of a starter pack. If you talk about selling online, the first step or the first activity that anybody would need to probably do is get your catalog listed on these marketplaces or platforms, right? You could be a seller in India, you could be a seller in Southeast Asia, you could be based in the United States. But the first step that you would do is get your catalog online on your platform of choice. So there are different marketplaces in different platforms by region. So for example, if you are operating in Southeast Asia, Lazada and Shopee would be probably top of the list. If you are operating in India or United States, Amazon definitely has to be there. And then there are regional players like Flipkart, Myntra, and the likes. But there are multiple challenges faced when you are actually trying to get your catalog online. And the biggest challenge there is that there is no standard taxonomy between these marketplaces and platforms. So in terms of the number of attributes and the kind of values that these attributes require, even the images that you are required to upload, do not have any standard convention, do not have any consistency, right? Some marketplaces want images on Dropbox, others want images on AWS. You might be required to, fill 10 attributes for Shopee, but you need 30 attributes for Lazada. It's very difficult to actually remember what information goes where, right? So identifying this is first part of solving the problem. Identifying the problem and then working towards addressing the various challenges towards that, right? So that is where our lister product comes in. We first of all, our first objective is to, help our sellers to get their catalog digitized. Okay. So for this, what we have done is we have our own category structure. And as we will show later on in this webinar, the sellers need to simply fill in an Excel sheet describing their catalog as richly as possible. So you give all the different kinds of attributes that you have, an SKU, a name, a brand, your price point, certain images, and other attributes to describe that information. When you fill this sheet and when you upload it into the panel, we will already validate it before pushing it to the marketplaces. So your catalog becomes pre-validated even before it is sent to a marketplace. Okay? Reducing chances of rejection and increasing your, reducing your go-to-market time and vastly increasing your time for sales. So for example, if there's a new collection or a new season launch, you're able to get that collection online on the platform within a day. Whereas if you were to do this manually, it might take you anywhere between 3 to 5 days. Right? So these are some of the advantages that we bring to the cataloging process per se. In a nutshell, this is what the lister or the automation tool does, and which is what we were talking about on the first slide. The first step that we do is we bring your catalog on a digital platform. So it becomes a repository for your product data. Once your catalog is in CMS or is in the listing application, you can directly push it to marketplaces which support API integration. For example, Lazada, for example, Shopee, for example, Amazon, Walmart, eBay, any of those marketplaces which have a plug and play integration. We can, once that catalog is in CMS, it can be directly synced to these platforms. Right? Secondly, Like we mentioned, once the catalog is in the platform, it takes just a click of a button to get this published on multiple marketplaces. So you could, if you want to do Lazada, Shopee, Zalora, all it takes is a click of a button and this catalog will be published to those marketplaces, right? The other thing that we do is transformation of images. Now, like we mentioned, Lazada has a different product image guideline. Shopee has its own image guidelines, and Zalora has its yes, different set of guidelines. So what we do is we try and transform these images which you provide into the guidelines or according to the guidelines that the marketplaces have published, so that you manually do not have to modify these images. Again, saving on time, saving on effort, and even reducing manual errors in copying, pasting, and that kind of editing. Data sanitation. The moment you upload this data into the tool, we will validate, we will run some checks to see whether this data complies with the you know marketplace taxonomy. And based on that, you get feedback real time. If your data is validated by our tool, rest assured this data will be synced to marketplaces. This here is a brief walkthrough or a video of how you operate the lister tool and how it helps you to basically list your catalog online. Let's just go through this video and I'll fill you in on the steps that are being performed as we go along. So you log into the application. Now, so what we're doing here, when we log into the application, the first step that we need to perform is probably upload our catalog into the tool, right? In order to upload the catalog to the tool, the first thing that we'll do is download a template. Now we have different templates for each category, and that is because each category has its own kind of attributes that you need to fill in and validations that we need to run on those set of data. Therefore, when you have to get your catalog imported into this tool, first thing that you will do is you will download a category specific template, like you see here. So we're downloading a template for tops categories. Now this is a template for the tops category, and now the user here is filling in information as per the requirements. So you'll see there are various kinds of attributes here. There are text attributes, drop downs with color coding for mandatory and optional attributes. So your mandatory are all in maroon color. If you see a blue color, there will be an optional attribute. So once you have curated this data, now we are showing you that this product does not exist on the marketplaces. The product that we are currently trying to curate in this Excel sheet and upload it into the tool at this point of time does not exist on any of these marketplaces. We checked Shopee, Zalora, and Lazada. Now we are uploading this sheet into our platform. We are waiting for the product to be uploaded. Product is successfully uploaded. There are 6 items there, all 6 items imported. We search and we see that these are the 6 items that you see on the screen. This is what has been imported in the tool. Okay. Now you have an option to map them individually to a set of marketplaces. So you map all of these products to Lazada, Shopee, and Zalora. The moment you do that, you can also revise your pricing specific to each marketplaces. Because if you notice, these are marketplaces of 3 different countries. Shopee is Singapore based, Indonesia is, Lazada is Indonesia account here, and Zalora is a Malaysia account. So these are marketplaces belonging to different countries. Although Lazada operates in each of these geographies, Shopee operates in each of these geographies. But for the sake of this example, our Lazada account is Indonesian account, our Shopee account is Singapore account, and Zalora account is Malaysia. And therefore, our pricing has to be different specific to each geography. So we modify the price, we import the pricing again. So you can also maintain channel specific pricing in this tool. The moment you do this, the moment you create the item, map it to each marketplace, our system will sync that item to the marketplaces. And if you see, we are now seeing the queue here. What you see on screen is the transmission result. We have pushed this information to Lazada, pushed this information to Zalora, and we are waiting to see what is the status. So if you see this item to Zalora Malaysia, we are waiting to see what is the result. For Singapore Shopee, we've got a success. And now we go and search for this same item on each of these marketplaces. And you can see that the item is created. Similarly for Zalora, and now you'll also see for Shopee. So this basically this basically outlines what you need to do in order to get your catalog uploaded on these platforms. All you need to do is fill in the catalog sheet as per the category classification, upload that sheet into the tool and map the items to the respective marketplaces. And once you do that, these items will automatically, provided the channel has an API, we will automatically publish this item to those marketplaces and let you know what is the status file. We will also retrieve the channel product ID or the channel SKU, which is maintained for further use. Right? If, however, channel does not provide um, any kind of API integration, then we will give you upload ready Excel sheets, which can manually be uploaded on the platform. Taking a look at the number of marketplaces and platforms that we are integrated with. So by region, if you look at this, in Singapore, we are integrated with Q10, Lazada, Zalora, Shopee. In India, we have integrations with, or we have cataloging support for Amazon, Flipkart, Myntra, Paytm, Ajio, Tata Click. In India, however, only Amazon has APIs. None of these other marketplaces have APIs. So our integration with them is offline, kind of, which means we will give you upload ready sheets for these platforms. For all of the other platforms, we have we have plug and play integration, so we'll be able to upload your catalog directly to these platforms. So Indonesia, we're integrated with Lazada, Blibli, Zalora, JD. Philippines, Lazada, Zalora, Shopee. Shopee for Indonesia as well. Thailand again, same set of marketplaces. And US, we are integrated with Amazon, eBay, and Walmart is a recent addition, which is also covered in United States. So for all of these marketplaces that you see above, sorry. So for all of these marketplaces that you see here, barring the set of marketplaces in India, we have plug and play integration. So if you upload your catalog in the lister tool, you can get it directly uploaded on all of these platforms at the click of a button. I believe we have a poll question, which Sakshi will take up now.
So all of you can see the poll question on your screen. The first question is, are you using any automated listing tool? Yes or no? And the second question is, how much time do you spend in listing 10 new items on a marketplace? So less than 1 day, less than 3 days, or up to 1 week. You have 30 more seconds to answer both the poll questions. So, Sachin, 91% are not using any automated listing tool,
Okay.
and 45% people take less than 3 days to upload their items on a marketplace.
All right.
Yeah.
That's good to know. Okay. This here is a case study which will, which is used to highlight how one of our clients has saved on time and effort in getting this catalog online across multiple marketplaces. So this is um, one of our clients who's into fashion accessories, particularly watches, and it's an international brand which sells across the globe and very heavily present in Southeast Asia, South Asia, right? So, and this client is listing on Lazada, Zalora, Q10, Amazon, Yahoo, HKTV in Southeast Asia. In India, all listing on Amazon, Flipkart, Paytm, Tata Click, Myntra. Jabong is no longer active. and Japan, Rakuten, Amazon, ZozoTown, and then also in US and Australia, New Zealand. And for all of these channels, he's using this lister platform. Wherever there is integration, once the catalog is uploaded into our tool, we directly push this catalog to those platforms. And wherever integration is not available, we give them a upload ready pre-filled sheet, which can be manually uploaded on those platforms. In terms of the effort, there's a vast improvement in sorry, in saving of effort. So earlier, for a new season or a new catalog collection launch, uh, getting it live across 20 marketplaces would take easily more than a month. But now this catalog can be launched simultaneously on all of these marketplaces within a span of 3 to 5 days, depending upon how many items are there. But they do 20 plus marketplaces within a span of 3 to 5 days. Okay. And that is also because this goes through a process of review before it gets uploaded to these platforms. But still, um, from where it was up to 1 month earlier to now less than 5 days is a vast improvement. Now, this talks about Vinculum as a company and what advantages we bring to the table. So first of all, we have a wide network of partners, 80 plus global partners to facilitate a faster and efficient market entry. And what this really means is we as a company, we are a technology company, but we have close partnerships and relationships with 3PLs and with marketing companies who can help you launch your product on a marketplace and maybe design front end websites for you. And once this catalog is uploaded on these platforms, help you to basically uh, translate that momentum into actual numbers. Active integrations. We have, as it says, more than 150 integrations with marketplaces, 3PLs, web stores, and retail systems. So this talks about different kinds of players in an e-commerce ecosystem. You would need a platform to sell on. That could be a marketplace, that could be a web store, and like we mentioned, we operate across the globe. So around the globe, if you see, there are easily more than 50 marketplaces which we are integrated to. Then you have regional transporters and last mile delivery people. Then you have web stores. We are integrated to more than half a dozen big web store platforms like Magento, Shopify, BigCommerce, WooCommerce, PrestaShop. Like all of those we are integrated with. So it's a plug and play integration which helps you to list on your platform of choice. And also with retail systems. So a lot of our customers and a lot of our prospects are people who are already uh, operating retail stores and want to branch out into e-commerce, or vice versa. People who started out as e-commerce sellers and want to now create or open up physical stores. Right? So we help people in connecting with, if somebody is already selling online, wants to open a network of stores, we help them to select the uh, preferred point of sale solution also. Right? So similarly, we have subject matter experts who can guide you, who can work with you in your endeavors. Right? So consulting is another popular area where we can help you. Okay? And then we have market reach. Vinculum as a company operates across 30 plus countries, spread across 5 continents. Right? And we know these geographies, we know these markets inside out. We have partners in these markets, we have connects in these markets, which we can help our customers leverage essentially. So you could easily be sitting in Singapore and selling in India. It's a cross border, or you could be sitting in India selling in the United States, right? Or you could have your own platform in the United States, and you could help sellers from India list on your platform and sell there. It could be any kind of arrangement. This is who we are and where we are present. So we mentioned that we are present in 30 plus countries as a company, and this is where we are. Our offices are located. Okay. I hope this session was useful, and should you need to get in touch with us regarding your cataloging problems or challenges, do feel free to write to us at any of these or reach out to us on any of these mediums. Marketing@vinculumgroup.com is our email ID. On Facebook, you could go to our page, Vinculum Group. On Twitter, you could reach out to us at our handle, Vinculum_IT. Whatever mode suits you, but please do feel free to reach out to us. And I would now pass the baton over to my colleague, Mr. Sumit Karanji, who will take you through the second aspect of this e-commerce maze, which is payment reconciliation. Sumit, over to you.
Thank you, Sachin. I'll just share my screen.
Yeah. Are you able to share your screen?
So thank you, Sachin, for taking us through the wonderful session. Listing predominantly is where all the online sellers start. And yes, it has been a great hassle. I have personally spoken to over 1,000 sellers during my e-commerce journey, and I find that listing is something where a lot of people struggle because there are a lot of attributes to be filled, and not everyone knows how to fill them. And difficult part is whenever you try to upload a file on the marketplace to get your catalog, you somehow start getting errors and you just cannot solve them. So I'm sure a lot of participants would have taken notice of that. Once the listings are done, obviously the order starts flowing in, and the return starts flowing in, payments keep coming on a weekly basis, and life is good until you really start noticing your books and your profits. Then you really find that there is something which is may not very comfortable in terms of the profits that you book. The expectations that you have on receiving the payments is something which you must keep a check on, and that's what we'll cover in the session of payment reconciliation. So starting with the motto of Vinculum, which is help sell anywhere faster, we have recently introduced the WinReco module, which is the payment reconciliation platform, which will help you to save anywhere faster. So this is a latest module in our stack, which basically helps you to reconcile the payments that you receive from the marketplaces and ensure that you can concentrate happily on the sourcing, on the sales and the pricing, while our system does the backend. Very important to understand why leakages happen, what kind of leakages are there, even if you use the system or not. This is something that I will share with you as knowledge for you to pick up. And we also have some questions, so we will take them in between. In fact, we also have questions on listings. Probably when I take the questions, Sachin would be happy to answer those as well.
Correct.
So as you all know, the Indian e-commerce market is on a high growth trajectory. Speaking about the COVID situations right now, a lot of us want to remain at home, and that is how, unfortunately, the situation is going to be, at least for the near future. What it essentially means is that the demand has not gone, it has only shifted. So instead of us going to a store or buying a product, we would rather buy it online. So that is where we see that until now, the Indian e-commerce was witnessing a contribution of 3% on the entire Indian retail market size, which will move up to as much as 15%. That is a huge growth and spike that we anticipate is going to come in the near future itself, which means that as a brand, you have to be online and you have to get your listings in place. You have to publish your catalog as much as possible. And when you do that, you'll start witnessing the consumer demand coming to your brand as well. So this is what the Indian e-commerce market looks like, and we are about to touch $200 billion in the next 3 to 4 years, which is a very happy scenario for all of us. But having said that, what does it actually mean for a brand like you? It means obviously more business, more number of orders, returns, and payments. And life does not stop there. We also have to see if the payments that are coming are correct or not. So that's where the payment reconciliation is very important. Without an effective accounting and reconciliation system, it is very easy to lose the track of your payments. Considering that there are enormous volumes that you can expect, the shipments are there, the Indian e-commerce, fortunately or unfortunately, has convenience given to the customers where more than 20 to 25% of the products that you sell come back as a return. So you have to manage those as well, and you also have to see how does it implicate on you financially. Every step in the e-commerce process, whether it's a forward movement or a reverse movement in terms of returns or recalls, has a financial implication on your books. So why does payment leakage occur? So we have kind of worked with more than 1,000 plus sellers, and we found that the three most common causes of payment leakages. The first one, the discrepancies in the measurement reports by the pickup and the logistic partners. So let's say your product is under 500 grams, and let's say you're shipping it from Mumbai to Delhi. When the pickup happens from your warehouse and goes to a logistic hub, sometimes due to some kind of errors, whether it's a manual error or a system error, instead of being charged for a 500 gram, you end up getting charged for 1.5 kilogram. Same way, let's say the orders that you have shipped are from one zone to another, and a zonal charge should apply. But if you really see the bills, there are chances that a national charge may be applied. So all of this keeps happening. The e-commerce in India has really evolved in the last 10 years. Earlier, it was a simple purchase order kind of system, but now you know that there are a lot of tax breakups, there are a lot of deductions that are happening, and it is important for all of us to check whether the deductions are in place or not. So this is one of the reasons that we found why leakages are getting into the system. Secondly, there are unavoidable bugs in the code written by the developers. No software is perfect, no platform is perfect until you find the bugs, and the bugs have to be solved and the new releases have come. So from a technology perspective, the platforms keep on evolving, whether it's an Amazon in India or a Flipkart or any other marketplace, they keep on upgrading their systems. In between, there may be chances where there are erroneous calculations in the commissions, in the shipping fees, in certain breakups like the pick and pack fees, in the reverse shipping fees, so on and so forth. So there are these kind of things that happen, and at the end it's our money, so we have to see whether there are any anomalies there or not. And the third one is wherein, if you are doing your listings manually, there are chances that when you enter the dimensions, instead of using a centimeter, maybe you're just putting a meter, who knows, because you are working with thousands and thousands of SKUs to be listed. And there are chances that manual errors can this happen, which will eventually show up in your remittance reports, because if you are using a meter instead of centimeter, obviously the shipping charges would then be very high. So all of these are the reasons. These I would say are the indicative reasons, not the exhaustive ones. But this is where payment leakages occur and are, continuously they are witnessed across the platforms wherever you work on. So moving forward, we did a small data analysis of 1,000 plus sellers, and we found that 1% to 3% of the turnover that you do online with marketplaces are a possible leakage. Now, uh, you just cannot ignore that fact. Certainly not in the categories of electronics and where an FMCG, where the margins are very, very wafer thin. Uh, I mean, 1% to 3% is actually the overall margin for certain sellers and brands. If you're losing that in the leakages, then it is time that you need to probably reconcile your books and reconcile your e-commerce records. The focus categories where we find the maximum leakages are prone to happen are in the electronics and accessories segment, in the fashion segment, home and kitchen, beauty and personal care, FMCG. Now, especially in certain categories like the beauty and personal care, it's a non-returnable category, right? In certain of the SKUs. However, you would see that there are still returns which are coming back to your warehouse, whereas actually, as per the policies, those returns should not be coming at all. So who will really look into all of these records? Because it's all about money, right? That's where you need a system. And we have also found that the average turnover of such sellers lies in the range of around 35 lakhs to 2 crores a month. So this is where the maximum leakages are happening. Not to say that the leakages do not happen beyond these turnover ranges, but this is where I think most of the sellers that work with us are having the GMV. And the kind of scenarios, if you see, the most repeated scenarios of the reconciliation are in the inventory part, where a lot of customer returns actually do not reach back to your warehouse even after a certain stipulated time, let's say after 45 days or 60 days. Then in such a case, you're eligible for a reimbursement, which is automatically done by the marketplaces. However, you need to really check if you have got the reimbursement or not. So all of this require a system, which if it is in place, it will really ease up your life and help you to earn better. Some of the statistics there so far, the sellers who have worked with us, they have, so our system has reconciled more than 80 million orders. We have identified revenue leakages which are in excess of $20 million. That's huge. And we have just worked with more than 1200 plus brands there. So even with 1200 plus users, you see the kind of leakages that we have identified. So I'll quickly go through the problem statement that a lot of sellers and brands face is the multiple formats for various marketplaces. The sales formats are different, the returns, the reports are different. Every marketplace have their own way of giving the output files. What our system does is you can curate all of this data in a single screen. For you, it will just show as one order ID and what is the latest payment that you have got against that order ID. So essentially, you can just download all your e-commerce business single line item wise, not having to worry about multiple time payments or multiple time deductions that might have happened against that order ID. So the information visibility is a single line item. In a single line item is something that we empower you with. Data is the key. If you are on the top of your data, you can analyze it well. You can see where you're earning, where you're not, and you can take intelligent decisions. That's how we help you. And not to forget the statutory compliances in terms of how much business you have done in the last month across marketplaces. We give you a single file at a click of a button, just see, and you can even calculate your output GSTs from there. Moving on, the reconciliation engine, we have simplified reports under 6 different scenarios where the leakages have happened so that you can know the order level overcharges against every SKU, every order ID, which in turn will help you to determine the profitability that you might have in mind before starting the business. So forget the complicated marketplaces report, forget the uninformed deductions. Our systems make sure that we catch any kind of deviation which is not agreed with you in terms of commissions, in terms of shipping, which brings me to the snapshot of how the system looks. This is the login screen. This is a dashboard which essentially summarizes the revenue, the returns, the number of orders that you have done. It also gives you a pie chart of where are your leakages happening, in which channel is it happening, what are the trending SKUs where your leakages are happening. So this is something very new to all of you. We have built this system where we identify your top 15, top 20 SKUs which are giving you the maximum leakage. So the trending SKUs keep on changing real time, and that will also help you to really decide if you want to pursue selling them more and more or less and less. So this is the master screen where you get to see all your business in one place. You get to see all the order details, which marketplace have you sold, what products have you sold, what is the selling price of the product, how much have you really received as a payment. And you also get to see the charges break up completely in terms of if you have got a payment of 11,152 as for the first record. You also know where are the breakup, how much is the technology fee, how much is the commission charges, what is the closing fees, and what was the shipping fees. So entire e-commerce on a single screen, breakup of the charges at the order ID level, all the information of the orders and product on a single line item level, and with a facility to download all these with the dates that you want on a single line item level basis. So it is a multiple marketplace model, but for you, it's just a single screen. You really do not have to worry about opening the seller central and downloading the files and we looking it up with each other and finally coming to an erroneous conclusion. That is all a thing of the past now. This is the reconciliation screen, which also shows the return screen, multiple channels, multiple returns. What kind of returns have you got? What are the reasons of the returns? You can download it again, so you don't have to worry about logging into multiple channels and multiple seller centrals. In case you're receiving the returns at your warehouse, you can upload your physical returns on this system itself and check whether what the marketplace reports are saying is correct or not. So this is just a high level. We can obviously go into detail one-on-one when we understand your business model. This is the reconciliation screen, which shows you multiple channels. What are the kind of leakages? So all you need to do is just select your marketplace of your choice. Just select the heads under which the leakages have happened, and just select a date range. You will get all the order IDs where there is a erroneous calculation of the payments. So nothing really much to do there. The system works 24 hours to see if there are any changes in the percentage, in the commissions. We log all of that so that in future, if you need to see why was I charged XYZ percentage, you will get the answers then and there. And this is for across the marketplaces. In India, we are doing Amazon, Flipkart, Snapdeal, Paytm, all the modes, which includes the Easy Ship, the fulfillment by Amazon, fulfillment by Flipkart, which is the Flipkart Advantage, the smart fulfillment, Seller Flex, Paytm FC. We are introducing Mintra B2B, B2C by the end of July. Also starting Tata Click for India as well. And we are also happy to integrate with any other marketplace if that is a popular choice of all the sellers as well. So two types of reconciliations: the payment reconciliation, wherein we match the actual and the levied charges between the marketplaces. So let's say for your category, the commission was agreed to be 5%. We then match whether 5% was deducted or 10% was deducted. So that's the kind of matching that we do every breakup wise. In terms of inventory reconciliation, we cover the missing inventory cases wherein a customer has returned a product to you and the product has not come back to your warehouse. If the product which is returned is in damaged condition, then you are eligible for a reimbursement. Because practically speaking, if you are doing a FBA model or a Flipkart Advantage model, the goods are not with you. Even if the courier returns a product, you don't know if those products are damaged or not, right? But in the marketplace reports, you come to know that they are damaged. And then if they are damaged, then you are eligible for a reimbursement, which our system identifies if you have got it or not. And these are the scenarios that I'm talking about. The shipping overcharge, any extra deductions in the shipping, the carrier damage, which essentially means the damages which might be done by a courier partner. In such a case, you're again eligible for a reimbursement. The pick and pack overcharge, for a category of products, there are various pick and pack fees. If it's a small one, you have an X fee. If it's a standard one, you have a Y fee. We then match whether you have been charged correctly there. The commission overcharges, which is the referral fees by the marketplace. The inventory missing without reimbursement, and also the replacement without reimbursement, which means that you might have shipped another replacement product because the first product was returned by the customer, and both the products are out there and you have got the payment of neither. So these are the 6 scenarios. We keep on developing new and new scenarios as in when we go deep into the product, but these are the most common ones that you will find that you need to reconcile. Some of the sample reports, shipping overcharge reports, you will see that it contains the master order IDs, the sub order IDs. So this is an actual reconciliation report. What are the order dates? What was the quantity? What was the charged amount by the marketplace? So here, if you see on the first line item, 309 rupees were deducted, but actually you were just supposed to pay 59 rupees, which means a good 250 rupees is something that needs to be recovered in terms of money. We also then publish the data points like a length, breadth, height, and the weight of the product, so that whenever you raise a ticket with the marketplace, they know very well that what category the product falls under for the shipping fees. So you get to know not only for a particular channel. If you want to see it on a daily basis, you can do so. across marketplaces, any kind of overcharges will be captured. So this is for the shipping overcharge. Sakshi, if you can run through any Q&A so far, if we have, otherwise I'll take it later.
Yes, Sumit, I would like to launch a poll first.
Sure.
So the question is, are you using any payment reconciliation tool? Yes or no?
I'll bet it would be, the results would be same like the listing ones. So let us see.
Yes.
Fingers crossed.
Right now, all the answers like 100% are saying no. Nobody said yes, but we are still, you have 20 more seconds to answer. Still nobody said yes. We are getting more, clicks on no. It's again showing 100%. So nobody using any tool for payment reconciliation.
So yes, that is one of the dilemmas, because whenever we start an online business, we are more concentrated on how to get those orders, to set the right pricing, to set the right inventory. But this is one of the most overlooked part of the business. It is, if I had to compare it in a layman language, it would be as good as the tires of our cars or of our vehicles. We want to sit in the comfort of the car, but no one really cares about the tires. But that's the one why the vehicles are up and running. So it is one of the most overlooked part, but a very important part as well. So moving ahead, Sakshi, any questions there?
Yes, we do have a question. They're using, anyone is using the Ven Reco product in Indonesia, Sumit?
So in Indonesia, we have just rolled out a beta program for Lazada, and we are having a beta program wherein we are inviting select sellers to try out our platform and help us to kind of make it robust. So it's a free program for the next couple of months. I would suggest if you can leave us your email ID, our team will get back to you and help you on board there and also understand how Lazada is working for the Southeast Asian markets. But we definitely have a product for Lazada in those markets for now. And we are happy to integrate with the new ones as well with some help from sellers like you. Thank you.
We have another question for you, Sumit. That is how sorry, that's for Sachin. I really apologize for that. So how WinLister will be changing the one set of data into different marketplaces standard format? To be
So
more
maybe
specific,
Sakshi, what we will
yeah,
do is maybe we'll park the lister questions after that because it will just break the flow.
Correct. We can
sure,
take it in the Q&A finally.
Yeah, we'll
sure,
take it.
okay, that's fine.
Cool. So I will take the rest of the questions as we move ahead. Moving on, I'll show you the unpaid orders leakage scenario, which means that there are certain scenarios where you are expecting a payment, but it has not come at all. Now, this is a very, very less heard situation, but it does happen wherein you see that some of the monies that you are supposed to receive have never come. And this is not intentional. Mind you, the marketplaces do not have any intention to do so. This is just a system error or some kind of issues due to some technical faults there. And it is always good to check, right? So this is what the report looks like. You have a list of all the order IDs against which you were supposed to receive a collectible amount and you have not received it so far. All you need is just to take these reports and raise a ticket and you'll get your money back. And in certain cases, I'll speak about the dispute management part wherein we help sellers to bring the money also. I'll take that up in the next slide. This is the missing inventory leakage scenario where you will see a list of all the order IDs wherein this is a customer return. If you see, you already have the refund dates wherein the customer has been returned the money by the marketplace and the aging has been done, which means a certain set of days have crossed. And even after that, you have not got any reimbursement, which is supposed to be done automatically, right? So here is where you just need to use this file and you need to claim it back from the marketplace that, hey, look, these are the order IDs where I have not got paid as per the fair market value. The products are never going to come back. In Flipkart, it is a status which is called as the do not expect physical delivery. In Amazon, there is no status. Basically, the goods have not come back and you just need to claim the money back. So, and they are very supportive. They would immediately kind of approve the claim as long as you file it within the SLAs. Yes, there is an SLA for every scenario. If you do not file your claims on time, you have no other choice but to forget them. So very important to keep the SLAs on track. So missing inventory reports, the affected order IDs with returns, the recoverable leakage amount is there at a line item level, and for all those orders which have crossed a certain SLA. And again, it's all automatic. You don't have to do anything, just download it from our system. Commission overcharge, very simple to understand. The actual commission charge, let's say at 14%, but what was agreed was 7.5. You have paid a 7.5% extra. Again, the difference amount. Now you could be practically shipping lakhs of orders a month. Even if such cases start happening, then you really have some groundwork to do, and then there is where you need to adopt a system like ours. And we do have a fantastic offer for all the attendees here for WinReco as well as Lister. I will take that in a bit. This is the master returns screen with the payment analysis. It will show you the list of all the returns along with the order dates, return dates, what was the return type, what was the reason of the return, the selling price, quantity paid, what was the reimbursement, all of it in one place, just for some data analysis that you need to do. This is the courier damage leakage report, wherein certain order IDs, while returns have been damaged by the couriers and you have not got reimbursement. Again, you need to check those. In India, 20% is the average return percentage. Need to really check on those. The customer damage scenario, if a product or a packaging has been damaged by a customer and you are eligible for a reimbursement there, we will show you all the order IDs where you have not got a single penny. Just use these reports and you are good to go ahead. So these are some of the sample reports of 6 to 7 scenarios. We do send you instant leakage emails as and when they happen. So if let's say I find a leakage and our system finds a leakage right now, it will show you and send you an email immediately so that it gets your attention, because this is about money, and money is something that we all try and get from the marketplace. So I think if it is done within a claim window, it should be very good. So instant leakage emails are sent along with the breakup files and under the scenarios as to where the leakages have happened. We have this program called as the dispute management program. Let's say you do not have the bandwidth of raising the claims, following it up again and again until your tickets are solved. We have our claim experts who will raise the tickets on your behalf by taking the user permissions from you. We will ensure that all the SLAs are met, the claims are raised within the SLAs, and you get their rightful money before the window periods. So this is an extended service of ours. So we have our training done for all our experts and specialists who are trained in the policies of the marketplaces, and raise the claim, follow it up, and get the money for you. So this is an extended service which is called as the dispute management service. We also have the dispute management screen wherein you get to know how many cases were raised, how many are pending, what are the cases are needing your attention, how many of them are closed. So a single view of all your tickets related to leakages with the case IDs, with the case information, what was the amount of the ticket, and whether it is closed or not, and if closed, what is the reimbursement that you have got. Now this dispute management module is available both for you, and if you want us to do it as a dispute management service, then also we use the same screen. So these screens are not just exclusive to us, it can also be used by your team in case you choose to do the dispute management yourself. We give you instant and weekly reimbursement reports. As soon as any kind of reimbursement comes, we send you an email so that you also get to know. And we do have a weekly report of the summaries across all the leakages, what kind of leakages have happened and how much monies have you got back, what is the percentage of reimbursement that you have got back. So all of it is automated and really makes life easy for all of you. And the last bit is the accounting and GST reports, which I touched upon briefly, that our system does have a provision of giving you the entire breakup of the orders along with the taxes in order to file the GSTs and understand the tax breakup. So that is also something that is available with us as an additional module. Some of our customers who are using us, some of the distributors who are using us handling those brands. These are some indicative customers, although we work with more than 1,000 plus customers there. So it is across category. Reconciliation is a need of the hour, and it is not restricted to only certain categories. It is a common phenomena. So I would really request you to really take it very seriously and see if your e-commerce business model has a reconciliation element into it or not. So yeah, that's it. In case if you have any questions, you can always feel free to write us on those credentials, marketing@vinculumgroup.com. We are also available live on Facebook now. You can go to Vinculum Group at Facebook or tweet us and we'll be happy to help. Sakshi, over to you. Thanks a lot. We'll take some questions.
Thank you, Sumit. So, Sachin, the
Yep.
question we missed earlier is for you now. So,
Yeah,
the question
please.
is how WinLister will be changing the one set of data into different marketplaces standard format. To be more specific, the titles of the product will be same on
Title.
all. Yeah, titles. Sorry, of the product will be same on all platforms. So the question is from Shamika Devekar.
Okay, so there are two kinds of information or two kinds of data. One would be attribute data where taxonomy is different. So, for example, gender, right? Now, Amazon terminology for gender is department, whereas other marketplaces call it gender. And even within that, the values for department in Amazon may be men, women, whereas in other marketplaces it is male, female. So we have a transformation logic. We will only ask you to fill gender information once, and our system will map the correct value for each of the marketplaces. So if you fill gender as women, and maybe Flipkart understands female, Flipkart's terminology is not women, it wants female, our system will transform that value and send it across to Flipkart. And likewise for other marketplaces. So this is one set of transformation. The other one in this case is the title, where you want different title on different marketplaces. Uh, that is possible. You can give different description for different platforms, but there will be no transformation that we will do. You will have to provide different set of description if you just the title, not the description. Sorry, you can provide different titles for different marketplaces, but it'll have to be a manual input. System will not do any transformation in that.
Okay. Thank you, Sachin and Sumit. And before closing this, I would like to announce an offer which was for all the attendees. It was for lister, you can avail 30% off and to list on 20 plus marketplaces. And there's a free one-time pass leakage value summary for all Amazon FBA users. So to all those who attended this session, my sales team will contact you and you can avail this offer. So thank you, Sachin and Sumit, for your valuable time and sharing the insights for the startup pack to sell online.
Yes.
Thank you, Sakshi, and thank you everyone for tuning in.
Thank you
We
so
hope to
much.
hear from you again.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Thanks. Bye.